Take a look at some of these photos of barns. Barns are buildings used on farms for a variety of different purposes. Many have two stories, like a downstairs for sheltering animals or machines, and an upstairs to store grain or hay. Barns can be made from wood or metal, and traditionally, many barns in the northern United States have been painted red with a white trim. Let's take a moment and get started, beginning with the end in mind. Today, we're focusing in on printmaking. So let's grab our green piece of paper, our printing tile of yarn, and some paint. You'll notice that I'm taking a paintbrush, dipping it into the yellow paint, and painting over the yarn with some yellow paint. Then I'll flip it over and make my first print. This kind of paint will dry a little bit brighter as it dries, so be patient. Even if you don't think you can see it right now, as it dries, it will get brighter. It is a neon paint, so give it some time to dry. Once I've gone ahead and done it a few times, go ahead and re-ink it every time you make a print to ensure a good print. Now, you can also try this with another color if you would like. Just grab a different printmaking tool and then do the same thing with your green. I like the way the two different colors look together. Printmaking can be so fun. This is going to be used as our grass for our project. Okay, while that's setting off to the side to dry, go ahead and grab one of the templates, a sheet of red paper, and trace and cut that out. Do that in pencil, then cut. All right, now that you've got your barn, you're ready to start printmaking. Grabbing a piece of black square paper, go ahead and glue that down for your upper level to your project. Then it's time to start printmaking. Grabbing some white paint and some Legos, I'm gonna go ahead and paint my Lego and start printing. You can see the first print turned out better, so I better re-ink it every time that I want a really good print. I love the way that looks. Doing the same thing with my white paint and my cardboard, I'm dipping it into the white paint and setting that all on the outside edge of my paper. Lastly, I want mine to have a nice big barn door at the bottom, so I printed on an X and a rectangle around it. Using the opposite side of that same cardboard, I'm doing the same thing with a layer of black on areas that I want a little bit more dark values going around my barn shape. Okay, not quite done yet. I'm grabbing my fork, dipping it into the yellow paint, and making some printmaking for some straw or hay coming out of the upper level of the barn. That's it for today. Go ahead and set it on the drying rack and let your materials dry. Now, day 2. Let's go ahead and grab my green paper now that it's dry. Put on some glue and stick that down onto the paper. If you want to tear your edges just so it gives it a little bit more texture like grass, go ahead and do that. Glue your grass down and your barn. Then it's pretty much up to you what you want the rest of your barnyard picture to look like. So I started thinking about adding on some sun, like it's maybe rising in the morning, using my oil pastels and mixing colors. I'm using my oil pastels also to draw out some clouds into the background. Fill it up. You might have some ideas like a windmill, or maybe you might want to have a silo right beside it, or maybe you want to use your oil pastels and make some designs on your barn, like one of those big barnyard quilts that are painted. Those are just some ideas. Now, grabbing some more construction paper, this is my last step. I'm going to go ahead and start making D shapes, like the letter D in the alphabet, starting to make some D shapes to look like the chickens that can go into my project. I really had a lot of fun with that. I made the large ones big, the smaller ones, so it looks like the smaller ones are further away. So if you want to start thinking about doing it that way, you can. I also added on a a comb for the chickens, as well as a yellow beak. So again, it's a big D shape for the chicken's body. Then I'm going to add on the beak as well as the red comb. The big chickens are lower on the page, where my smaller chickens are a little higher on the page. You'll notice that I added on, a fence Or maybe you want to even draw on some more types of animals if you want. The choice is up to you. Have fun creating your own printed barnyard farm-like project today. Happy art making and thanks for watching.